Real Madrid are reportedly considering the absolute unthinkable, preparing to potentially sack and completely sever ties with Fede Valverde following a shocking, violent altercation that has torn the dressing room apart. The Uruguayan midfielder, who was once viewed as the untouchable future captain of the club, has completely destroyed his reputation after a terrifying physical fight with Aurélien and Tchouameni at the Valdebebas training ground. This explosive incident has exposed a massive leadership failure at the highest levels of the squad, proving that the player who was supposed to unite the dressing room is actually the one actively tearing it apart from the inside out. Normally in May, the entire footballing world focuses its attention on Real Madrid as they prepare to lift major trophies and celebrate another historic season. But this week, the media spotlight has been trained directly on the Valdebebas training complex for all the wrong reasons. After several days of devastating leaked stories detailing the deep malcontent within the dressing room, the tension finally reached a terrifying boiling point. On Thursday, the frustration exploded into a physical confrontation between Valverde and Tchouameni, completely shattering the illusion of harmony within the squad and forcing the club hierarchy to take unprecedented disciplinary action. The immediate aftermath of the fight has been absolutely chaotic. While the French midfielder astonishingly attended training as normal on Friday, Real Madrid have officially opened a massive disciplinary investigation into both players. The physical toll of the altercation was severe, with Valverde suffering a significant head injury during the fight that has officially ruled him out of action for the next 2 weeks. But it is the Uruguayan's bizarre, contradictory response to the incident that has truly infuriated the club and his teammates, pushing him dangerously close to the exit door at the Santiago Bernabeu. In a desperate attempt to control the narrative, Valverde released a statement claiming that he was not hit during the altercation, nor did anyone hit him. This blatant denial completely clashes with all other credible reporting on the matter, and it has backfired spectacularly. Instead of calming the situation, the 27-year-old has come out of the incident looking significantly worse in almost every single regard. Beyond his physical injury, Valverde has received incredibly heavy criticism for a statement that at times completely contradicts itself, destroying whatever credibility he had left within the dressing room. Subscribe now and help me reach 1,000 subscribers by May 15th. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any update. The dressing room reaction to this incident has been absolutely damning for Valverde. According to explosive reports from Cadena SER, many Real Madrid players firmly believe that the Uruguayan completely crossed the line with Tchouameni, essentially causing the fight through his unacceptable behaviour. Valverde had reportedly been incessantly accusing the Frenchman of leaking sensitive stories to the press, creating a toxic, paranoid environment that eventually exploded into violence. While the squad absolutely does not justify Tchouameni's physical reaction, there is far more deep-seated disappointment directed squarely at Valverde for instigating the entire crisis. This devastating assessment is completely backed up by The Athletic, who report that Valverde has been behaving like this all year long. Multiple sources from within the club have confirmed that his attitude has been entirely unworthy of a captain. This is a massive, catastrophic failure of leadership from a player who was supposed to be the standard bearer for the next generation of Real Madrid stars. Instead of uniting the squad during a difficult period, Valverde has actively contributed to the toxicity, alienating his teammates and completely destroying the trust that is required to lead a club of this magnitude. The club hierarchy is reportedly absolutely furious, and they appear to be significantly more disappointed in the Uruguayan than they are in Tchouameni. While both players are fully expected to receive severe sanctions following the disciplinary investigation, the early indications strongly suggest that Valverde's punishment could be much heavier. The fact that Valverde is the official vice-captain of Real Madrid adds a massive layer of responsibility to his role in the dressing room. As a designated leader, he should have been the one de-escalating the tension, not the one actively provoking a physical confrontation with a teammate. This leadership failure is magnified by the current injury crisis at the club. With official club captain Dani Carvajal currently sidelined with an injury, Valverde was, in theory, the most senior figure of authority present on the training pitch on Thursday, second only to manager Álvaro Arbeloa. He was supposed to be the adult in the room, the player setting the standard for professionalism and dedication. Instead, he completely lost control of his emotions, engaging in a petty, paranoid dispute that ended in physical violence and a massive public relations disaster for the entire institution. The potential consequences for Valverde are absolutely staggering. The club is now seriously evaluating whether a player with an attitude deemed unworthy of a captain can continue to represent the famous white shirt. When a vice-captain actively destroys dressing room harmony and repeatedly accuses teammates of leaking stories, his position becomes almost entirely untenable. The trust between Valverde and the rest of the squad has been completely shattered, and it is incredibly difficult to see how he can ever regain the respect required to wear the captain's armband at the Santiago Bernabeu. Valverde's season appears to be completely over, and his Real Madrid career might be following closely behind. His head injury has ruled him out of almost all remaining fixtures, making it highly unlikely that he will feature again this season, with the possible exception of the final game at home against Athletic Club. But even if he is medically cleared to play, the club may decide that his presence is simply too toxic to risk. The disciplinary investigation will determine his immediate fate, but the long-term damage to his reputation has already been done. This shocking turn of events represents a massive fall from grace for a player who was once universally beloved by the Real Madrid fanbase. Valverde was the ultimate utility man, the player who would run through brick walls for the badge and sacrifice everything for the team. But the pressure of leadership and the frustration of a difficult season appear to have completely broken him. The relentless paranoia about press leaks and the aggressive confrontation with Tchouaméni reveal a player who has lost touch with the core values of the club he is supposed to be leading. If Real Madrid do decide to sack Valverde or force him out of the club this summer, it will send a massive, uncompromising message to the rest of the squad. It will prove that absolutely no one is untouchable, not even the vice-captain, if they actively destroy the harmony of the dressing room. Florentino Perez has never hesitated to remove players who become bigger problems than they are worth, regardless of their talent or history with the club. Valverde has crossed a line that is incredibly difficult to uncross, and he is now entirely at the mercy of a club hierarchy that demands absolute professionalism. The coming weeks will be absolutely critical in determining the future of Fede Valverde. The disciplinary investigation will uncover the exact details of the fight, but the court of public opinion within the dressing room has already delivered its verdict. The players have turned their backs on their vice-captain. The club is deeply disappointed in his failed leadership, and the media is tearing apart his contradictory statements. The Uruguayan is completely isolated, facing the very real possibility that his time at the biggest club in the world has come to a violent, humiliating end. As the season draws to a close, Real Madrid must decide how to rebuild a dressing room that has been completely fractured by paranoia and physical violence. They need leaders who can unite the squad, not vice-captains who instigate fights and accuse their teammates of betrayal. Fede Valverde was supposed to be the future of Real Madrid, but his shocking behaviour has proven that he is entirely unworthy of that immense responsibility. The unthinkable is now becoming a very real possibility, and the football world is watching closely to see if Real Madrid will finally pull the trigger and sack their fallen captain. The contrast between the expectations placed on Valverde and his actual behaviour is truly staggering. When a player is elevated to the role of vice-captain at Real Madrid, they are expected to embody the spirit of legends like Sergio Ramos, Iker Casillas, and Raúl. These were men who demanded excellence but also knew how to protect the dressing room from external pressures. Valverde, however, has done the exact opposite. By incessantly accusing Tchouaméni of leaking stories, he essentially became the very source of toxicity he was supposed to be fighting against. He allowed his paranoia to override his responsibilities, creating an environment where trust was completely impossible and physical confrontation became inevitable. This complete breakdown in leadership is particularly damaging because of the timing. May is traditionally the month where Real Madrid cements its legacy, a time when the squad pulls together to push through the final, grueling matches of the season. Instead, the club is now forced to dedicate its resources to a massive internal disciplinary investigation. The distraction is absolute, and it is entirely self-inflicted. Manager Álvaro Arbeloa is now tasked with navigating a squad that is deeply divided, knowing that his designated on-pitch leader is the primary cause of the chaos. It is an impossible situation that highlights exactly why the club is considering such severe, unprecedented action against the Uruguayan. Ultimately, this entire saga serves as a brutal reminder of the immense, crushing pressure that comes with wearing the Real Madrid armband. It is a weight that can break even the most dedicated players if they lose sight of what the club truly represents. Fede Valverde was given the ultimate honour, the chance to lead the greatest football club in history into a new era. But instead of rising to the occasion, he allowed paranoia, anger, and petty grievances to destroy his reputation. As the disciplinary investigation concludes, the football world waits with bated breath to see if Real Madrid will truly make the ultimate statement and sack the man who was once destined to be their captain.